What? Are you doing season 2 of that stupid show?
Honey, where are you going?
Where are you going?
Again? Just where are you going?
Where are you going? You're not going to the bar again, are you?
You like hanging out, drinking beer at the bar, talking sports? Come on out and join us weekly. Guys at the Bar Talking Sports, your podcast for just that. Hanging out, drinking some beer, talking sports. It's your boy, Hanger, looking for a beer. Actually, we're all looking for a beer, so if you want to buy the guys a beer, at Guys at the Bar Talking Sports on Venmo. That's it. Easy as drinking a beer. Well, let's start out the show.
Okay.
Are y'all ready?
Let's do it.
Because we're recording right now, y'all.
I like it.
All right, this is Guys at the Bar Talking Sports. We are at the Bar Talking Sports.
Sports.
That's what we do. We're actually guys and gal at the Bar Talking Sports. We want to change the name there, Cheeks.
No, don't. People at the bar talking sports?
Human beings at the bar
I am
talking
not that
sports.
person. And I grew up in areas where we called everybody you guys.
Use guys.
Yep.
All right. So
All y'all at the bar talking sports.
all y'all at the Bar Talking Sports.
Use guys at the bar talking sports.
So for some reason, people keep on listening to us because they like to hear pundits talk about sports at the bar. Apparently. So
Apparently.
we'll take it. We changed the format around a little bit. We're not talking about last week's games, but if you want to bring something up, that's fine. While we're talking about, like, let's say we bring up Alabama, you want to bring up the Mercer game, then go ahead and throw some stuff in there.
Do we really need to talk about that?
No, because everybody that listens to the show already knows what happened in those games because I went over them on Monday in the show, right?
Yeah.
So we had the Monday show where I went over those, and then the NFL I went over on Tuesday morning, I believe it was. And we're going to try to get together and do some sort of Zoom type thing for these shows as well. I just haven't figured out how to make that happen because I don't want to ask too much commitment from people, but
Sure.
Hey, whatever. We'll make it work. But this is Guys About Talking Sports, where we talk about sports at the bar. And what are you drinking? Now let's go and do these introductions, okay? We got the Chief over here today. What you drinking, Chief?
I am drinking ginger and lime. Really watered down. It's 2 years old.
I know, you need to actually top that thing off with some ice. Throw a little Jack in there, you'll be good to go. You know?
Might happen. It could happen. It's in the realm of possibilities.
So we keep on inviting Cheeks back because she is such a good person to have on the show. What are you drinking, Cheeks?
I'm drinking Steel Hands Coffee Lager, a local brewery.
Oh, wow.
But it's their coffee lager, which is amazing. It's like a breakfast drink.
We're working on getting sponsorship from Steel Hands.
They'd be great.
I don't know who it was that was going to try to hook us up with that, but somebody...
Christine.
Was it Christine? That's
Yeah.
right, yeah. She says, we're going to get you guys at Steel Hands. Maybe we'll get some free beer out of it. Who knows? But we are loyal to MJ's Bar and Grill right now in Northeast Columbia.
Yep, your Clemson headquarters in Northeast Columbia.
Clemson headquarters. What? No, this is the Gators headquarters in Northeast Columbia. You know what was interesting? I went to...
The owner's wife the owner's son goes to
Oh, that's
Clemson.
right,
That's
yeah.
how it became the Clemson headquarters.
So I was in Austin, Texas this past weekend. And the most interesting thing is that we're on this main strip, 6th Avenue, and every bar in this one area had their own, every SEC team was pretty much represented. You had the Florida bar, you had the Alabama bar, you had the Auburn bar, you had the Ohio State bar, Penn State bar, the whole 9 yards. It was insane. And we don't have that in Columbia, I don't think. But we might need
We
to
don't have
find
that many bars in
We
Columbia.
don't have that many bars in Columbia. We don't have enough bars in Columbia to represent every team in college football, right?
Sure.
Brookie DC is in the house. What are you drinking, Brookie DC?
Good to be back. I'm drinking a little Samuel Adams, your cousin from Boston.
Boston, baby. That's the good stuff, the Oktoberfest.
It's you get into fall, it's a little rainy outside, it's not as hot today, so let's have a fall beer, right?
It has been nice that it's been rainy, but it's been nice weather. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
This is your boy Hanger, and I am drinking Shiner Bock. Sorry, I usually drink Bud Light. I got confused, But I had to change up a little bit. It's actually a pretty good beer, and it's a giant one, too. So
We got something with flavor this week.
It's
take
not
that.
beer water, right?
Right.
It's not beer water, yeah. Beer-flavored water, the Bud Light. But I represent Bud Light. I like it. It's good stuff. You can drink it all night and not get a hangover. So
And not get drunk.
and not get drunk. And not get drunk. That's the truth. So, a new segment we're going to do in this week, and I might throw everybody else into it as well, but I was just thinking about it. There's this kid that used to be my neighbor. It's one of my friend's sons, right? He's about 7 or 8 years old or so. He might be 9, I'm not sure, but he's a phenom when it comes to college football. He knows, if you ask him the stats on any player for the last 4 years, he'll be able to tell you. It's just crazy.
And he's 9?
He's like, yeah, he's probably 8 or 9 years old, yeah, because I think he's a couple years younger than my oldest daughter, right?
Wow.
Or my daughter. So he knows sports left and right. So I said, well, if you ask him about a game, he'll tell you who's going to win, and it'll be within 3 or 4 points every single time on what he says, right? So this is what we're going to do: Ripper the Predictor versus Lucky Lock. All right, that's what we're going to do. And Lucky Lock says, I'm not going to use his real name because he's a kid. He says Alabama wins by 12. He didn't give me exact numbers. I need to get those from him next time, but that's fine. Alabama wins by 12. Ripper says Alabama's going to win. So we're going to go ahead and say they both say Alabama's going to win. So when Florida wins this week, then they're both wrong on that. Penn State wins by a field goal, and Ripper says Penn State loses to Auburn. So we got a little bit of head bashing, right? But we'll check this out next week and see who's right and who's wrong on this. Okay?
I think the kid's right on that one.
Yeah. Anyone? Okay, so
There's no way Auburn's going to win at Happy Valley.
All right.
No.
I think the biggest thing you have to think about there, and I'll give my one quick note, is that Penn State is like the Virginia of basketball. They're going to play so slow, and they're going to drag everything out. And Auburn does not want to do that. Auburn wants to play fast. They want to score points. So it all depends on who gets the momentum shift. I understand it's Happy Valley. It's going to be a whiteout, I'm sure.
So it is a whiteout.
It'll be a whiteout. But the only thing I'm going to say there is if Auburn comes in and gets that tempo up, just like it is when you play a Kentucky basketball team, and if that tempo gets up, Penn State's in trouble.
All right.
I say Penn State by 7.
All right, so a lot of you guys are with Lucky B. Lock on that one then. All right. And then we got Lucky B. Lock says Notre Dame wins, but it's going to be close. Like every game that Notre Dame plays, it's going to be close, right?
They're playing Purdue at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
So Notre Dame should squeak by. They should win that one. I would say Notre Dame by 7.
I was going to give Notre Dame by 14.
14. What's the line?
I'm more on your side.
I don't know. I didn't look that up.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot higher than one touchdown.
Purdue's not that good, and it's at Notre Dame in South Bend.
Okay.
Notre Dame's not that good either, though.
And then Ripper says Purdue. So
really,
so that's
Ripper's from the Big Ten, though. I expect him to say Purdue.
So Lucky Lock says Alabama, Penn State, Notre Dame. Ripper says Alabama, Auburn, Purdue. So we're gonna go ahead and lock those in and see what happens next week, and we'll go ahead and go over it really briefly next week just for the fun of it. Because this kid, I just want to see how good he is. That's all. And I've heard him talk, and I'm just like, holy cow, this kid knows more about football than anyone I've ever seen in my life.
I'm glad I'm close. The line on that 7.5 Notre
7.5.
Dame. I said Notre Dame by 7. So.
Okay, gotcha. So, one more topic before we jump into the top 25 teams for the week, okay? Or top 25 games, but we're not going to go over every single top 25 game. We're just going to go over the good ones, the ones that matter.
Okay.
Presbyterian College here in Carolina, right? They're the ones that have that coach that came over from Arkansas. He was a high school coach that does onside kicks every time. They never do field goals or they never punt or anything like that. They always go for a 4th down. He has that little thing going on. First game of the year, they won by it was 78-0 or something like that.
They play a high school?
No, it was a college. It's Presbyterian.
They played at Bishop Sycamore.
Yeah.
Okay. But they've scored 132 points in 2 games, averaging 500 yards a game.
Wow. But who have they been playing?
Exactly.
Bishop Sycamore.
But who are they? They're no better than Bishop Sycamore. You know, it's not like
the interesting part about that college is they actually do well in athletics. Even their baseball team made the College World Series this year. Like got down into a super regional, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, they did. Okay.
So I mean, they were in, well. I don't think that's the super regional, but they did get the regional with Vandy.
Yeah.
So I mean, they getting into the postseason in baseball and being a college of that size, it's impressive. You got to give them that.
Oh yeah.
No,
and,
it's
in fact, Arkansas's coach, the head coach for the baseball team at Arkansas, used to be their head coach at Presbyterian College.
okay.
So
Gotcha.
you got,
Yeah. So I just thought it was interesting. I'm keeping an eye on them. Somebody brought it up on the show. Maybe it was Ripper brought it up, or somebody that was on the show brought it up a couple weeks ago. So I just wanted to bring it up again today because it makes me look at this guys and see what they're doing, because he's using 4 different quarterbacks in these games as well. So he's not just messing around. Or maybe he's using a kicker that just goes back and throws the ball or something like that to try to fake people out. I don't know.
That's a good question.
Yeah, but he has, there's 4 different people that have 50 or 60 yards per game as well. So, but let's jump into the top 25 college football games, all right?
You want to tell us what game to talk about first? Because there are some really good games to talk about.
There are. So let's start from the bottom. Number 25, Michigan versus Northern Illinois, right?
Okay, let's not talk about that game.
Let's not. But I'll be honest, I'm thinking Michigan is better than people give them credit for this season. I don't know. I'll be watching them to see what happens, but I think that they're gonna, if they can beat Wisconsin next week, they're gonna win out until at least they play Penn State in November. So they might be moving up the top 25 over the next couple weeks because of that.
We'll see.
We'll see.
The only
Wisconsin will be the determining factor.
Yeah, if they beat Wisconsin, it'll be in the top 15 or so by then. And then they're going to win out until at least Penn State. I think they play Penn State the second week of November. And then
well, we think that, but it's kind of like the SEC. You think somebody's going to win out, and then they get upset by South Carolina or get upset by Tennessee. Those things happen. And that's going to happen in the Big Ten as well. There's going to be teams that shouldn't beat you that are going to be in the middle of a game with you, like a Purdue or an Indiana, and that's going to be a situation for other teams.
Gotcha, okay.
It's going to happen. Trust me. Happens every year.
Hopping over to Miami, number 24, versus Michigan State.
I think that's going to be a better game than anybody thinks it's going to be.
So tell me more. Yeah, tell me more. What do you think?
I think Miami is highly ranked, and they obviously struggled against Bama, but who wasn't struggled against Bama? But they also struggled against App State. Not saying App State's not a great football team, because they are, but being where Miami is in the top 25 and that game was at Miami, they shouldn't have had as much trouble as they had with App State.
I think Michigan State is going to go in there, and I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout, but I think Michigan State's going to come out on top.
You think they will?
Yep.
I don't have that much faith in Michigan State yet, and the only reason is because Michigan State does not have any household football player names.
They beat Northwestern week 1. It's Northwestern, but they've dominated the SEC or the Big Ten West for about the last 2 or 3 seasons now. So they're not just a team that's going to lay down.
It's not a rollover team. I agree. It's going to be a game. I think it'll be interesting to watch. Am I going to watch it though? No.
No, I probably won't be watching that game. It is on at noon, and I'll probably be flipping around a bunch of different stuff by then.
Sure. There's other games to talk about that are on at noon. So
let's move down to our man Chiefs team, North Carolina versus Virginia.
You're going to skip the BYU matchup?
Yeah.
BYU versus Arizona State. That's a 23 versus a 19.
Oh, no, wait, hold on. I'm moving down the list to 19. I haven't gotten 19 yet.
Well, BYU's 23.
Don't mess with me. I got this.
I'm sorry, my bad. You go on.
Hey, I'm in the driver's seat, bro.
You drive us.
No, okay, so North Carolina versus Virginia. I didn't have any notes on that because, to me, North Carolina is not the team that they said they were going to be.
No, they're not.
And Virginia, who cares, you know?
No, and this is kind of a rivalry game.
Steph cares. Sorry.
Yes. Steph definitely cares. She was your first female on the show.
That's true.
Yeah.
So hit me up, man. What do you got, Chief?
This is more of a rivalry game. Mac Brown has something to prove. He has to get an ACC win. If he loses this one, he can pretty much season's over.
Yeah.
He won't make even the ACC playoff. But if he gets this win, Virginia Tech may turn out to be much better than anyone anticipated. Virginia Tech's ranked, 15th now?
Yeah.
And so I could see if he wins at Virginia, this could set the direction and get them to a bowl game. If he loses to Virginia, I'm really disappointed as a North Carolina alumni. But, you know,
You're slowly moving towards Clemson, man. As your money gets funneled,
as more money goes to
into that
Clemson,
city.
yeah, we just wrote a big check this week too.
Yeah. Number 19 Arizona State versus number 23 BYU. We're gonna skip over a few other games because they don't really matter too much either. So, what are y'all thinking? BYU or Arizona State?
Arizona State.
I had the opportunity to watch Arizona State play this last week. And the only reason I did it is because I had to hedge my bets and I needed to bet on that game. So I was like, I'm going to stay up and watch it.
Okay.
And they were playing.
It was on at like 7 o'clock.
It was a 10 o'clock
10:30
night for us. But it was Arizona State. I believe it was at Arizona State, but it was UNLV.
Yep.
And UNLV actually gave them trouble through the first half of the game.
Really?
So I will say that Arizona State is a solid program, but you got to watch out for BYU. BYU's sneaky good, and they'll sneakily take you down.
So ASU's on a 4-game win streak. BYU is 13-1 since the beginning of last season. BYU's at home, and this is something that I think is a factor.
Yeah, their last loss was to Carolina or Coastal Carolina.
Coastal Carolina. But here's the thing that I think is a factor in this game. I think both teams are really close, but you got Arizona State coming from high heat. It's still hot out there, and they're at sea level. They're going up. I think it's Moab. It's the Salt Lake City area. They're going up. They're going to elevation, and the temperatures are a lot lower, and the air is a lot thinner. And I think that couple that with two really close teams, I think that, and it's at BYU.
You going BYU?
I'm going BYU.
I
Close
also am
game, but
taking
BYU.
I agree. I think BYU wins. The only thing that's going to be a determining factor, aside from the weather and the sea level, is the fact that Arizona State has a really tall quarterback that likes to run. And BYU is really good at taking out knees. So I think he could be in trouble in that game.
That could happen. I think all those Mormons are going to be doing the Gallon Challenge. You know what that is?
Yeah.
The Gallon Challenge? Okay, I explained it to Chief earlier. The Gallon Challenge, missionaries do it that are Mormons. They'll chug a gallon of milk in an hour. That's the rule.
Oh.
And you end up puking the entire time.
Yeah, no kidding. That sounds
afterwards.
disgusting.
One more thing that astounded me is I would have assumed Arizona State and BYU would have played reasonably often. No, the last time they played was in 1998, and
Really?
BYU's head coach was on that team, and BYU got the win.
Wow.
Gotcha. So, next game that I think might be a possible upset, Tulane versus number 17, Ole Miss, okay? Sorry, it's Ole Miss versus Tulane, so they're going to be playing at Tulane.
Both of them are top 6 offenses. Ole Miss, 48.5 points per game versus Tulane's at 52 points per game. If it was at Tulane, I would be leaning Tulane, but because it's at Ole Miss and they're really close, it's really going to be a question of, who can hold on. But Tulane pushed OU to the last series.
Yeah,
Oklahoma-
Tulane's better than people give them credit for.
Was looking at a loss until they scored on the last set of downs.
Tulane is like Pittsburgh. They have a veteran quarterback, who's really solid, so they're going to be in a lot of games. I think Ole Miss ultimately wins the game because their quarterback play is better. That's what I think. It's a 14-point line. I don't know if Ole Miss covers that, but I tell you what will happen is there'll be 80 to 90 points scored in that ball game.
Yeah, it's going to be a super high game.
Ole Miss can throw up some points. Nobody does that.
So can Tulane.
So can Tulane. Yeah, they'll be fine.
And Matt Corral has not thrown a pick yet this season.
Give it time.
Yeah, give that time.
Fun
Sure.
fact, Tulane has won the SEC championship 3 times. They were in the SEC until 1966.
Oh, really? That's funny. All right, next game I had that was actually important. And not important for any reason except for number 13, UCLA. No one thought that was going to be the case this season. Say
Playing
what?
the underdog Fresno State.
Yeah, because everyone was...
Well, Fresno State has been playing
I know.
really well. And by the way,
Fresno-
that's in California.
Yeah.
Yeah, still in California.
Fresno State is not looking too
They're
bad.
not shabby.
But LSU loses to UCLA a couple weeks back.
Right.
And UCLA beats Hawaii, but everyone knows LSU is not that good. So why is UCLA in the top 13th? That's insane.
And LSU was at the Rose Bowl. LSU got displaced from their home because of the Hurricane Ida.
Right.
I think LSU went into that game as weak as they could go in. So I'm not sure that UCLA is as powerful. They're getting ranked, but I think Fresno State, this could be an upset.
I don't know if I would even call it an upset if Fresno State wins, except for the fact that UCLA is ranked 13th, and I don't think that they're a top 20 team. Maybe 22, 23.
Right, but they're ranked 13. And
so technically that's an upset.
I mean, if Fresno State is 14 and they beat them, it's an upset.
Yeah. Okay, so next game. I've heard a lot of people calling this one an upset this week, and our man Ripper is thinking it's going to be an upset. They beat Oregon State week 1, Purdue did, and destroyed the University of Connecticut last week. That's going to be number 12 Notre Dame versus Purdue. And a lot of analysts are saying that they think that might be an upset, just the way that Notre Dame is playing. So what are y'all thinking?
I think it could be an upset. I'm still thinking Notre Dame's going to win this. Notre Dame made a lot of mistakes in their last game, and I bet they've been working on that. They looked kind of weak.
Look how hard they played against Florida State and almost lost. And then Florida State the very next week goes to Jacksonville State comes to town and wins. Florida State is not a notch on the belt at that point for Notre Dame at all.
And remember, they barely squeaked by Toledo. I mean, this isn't just mistakes. This is it's not like they barely squeaked by an SEC team, a Big Ten team, or even a really good ACC team. They squeaked by Toledo.
Yeah.
And so I agree it could be an upset, but again, at home, having had a week to do a lot of self-reflection, I think they're going to come out strong.
What are you thinking, Shakes?
It's difficult. I don't have a dog in that race, so I really don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a tough one to wrap my head around and say.
Notre Dame's going to win the game.
Yeah. I got Notre Dame by 7.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go with the Catholics.
Yeah, go with the Catholics.
I'll go with the Catholics.
They've been praying all week.
They have.
They even had the Pope.
Well, and actually, this Purdue game, if you think about this, Notre Dame, what's Notre Dame ranked this week?
They're 12th.
They're 12th.
Yeah.
If you win, even by 7, you won't drop too far and you won't move up. You might even stay the same. If you lose, you're going to drop down to 24th, 25th if you get to stay in.
They haven't been playing good football.
No, they haven't. So if they lose, this could knock them out of everything for the season.
I agree. Okay. Number 10, Penn State versus Auburn. Penn State's defense is on fire, but so is Auburn's in general. They're not letting people put up points either. Now, not that Auburn's played anybody, but...
Yeah, but Penn State barely beat Wisconsin. But Bo Nix is 5 for 7 on the road. His pass completion is 55%. He's like 20% better at home than he is on the road.
So he's 55% passing right now?
On the road. He's 65% at home.
Okay, and they're playing in Penn State in whiteout environment.
He's got, on the road, Bo Nix has 13 passing touchdowns and 12 interceptions on the road.
Yeah, so everyone talks, that guy is not good on the road. Yeah. We all know that last season. This season, maybe he's gotten better. Who knows? This week will tell for sure. And what are you thinking there? I know you got a lot on your mind, my man.
I'll say what I said earlier. Penn State is the Virginia of basketball for their football. They're going to slow the game down. Auburn likes to play fast. I think Bo Nix runs the ball more, throws it less. I think Auburn goes into Happy Valley and upsets them.
Auburn is 1-6 when their opponent hosts game day.
I get it. I'm just telling you, I think they're going to win.
The game day factor.
My heart is with Auburn, but statistically it says Penn State.
I say Penn State in a real close game.
Those fans in Happy Valley are going to be going insane, and I'm thinking that Penn State's going to win. Now, you know our man Chopper is a big Auburn fan. I wish he was here to defend it, but he'll be listening and say, "Man, you guys just talking bad about my team." But I don't. You didn't, yeah. So he might like you better next week. All right, number 9, Ohio State versus Tulsa. Now, the only reason I'm bringing it up is I thought Ripper would be here, but he's not. So, but I don't think we need to have any explanation on that game except for this. How big does the exclamation point have to be on this win for Ohio State to be taken seriously again? Because nobody's taking them seriously.
30 points. 28 points. 4 touchdowns. At least.
Yeah, they have to really destroy Tulsa in order to...
And they will.
Yeah, I mean, Tulsa's not a good team. They're 0-2 right now, so they're not even competing against them.
And more importantly, they have to be solid every quarter. They can't. You could win by 4 touchdowns in the fourth, but if you go into the half, within 7 points, you just wore a team down that doesn't have depth.
Well, statistically, Ohio is picked to win by 95%.
Yeah, but what's the line?
The line is currently...
Oh, it's got to be like 30 points or so.
The over-under is 61.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's the point scored.
That's the number of points scored.
24 and a half.
Okay, yeah, so that's 3
So I think
touchdowns.
they got to beat the spread by at least a touchdown.
They have got to really do something for me to take them seriously as somebody that if they win out for the season and win the Big Ten, then they could be in the top 4. But they have to put an exclamation point on this game big time after coming off a loss to Oregon last week.
Ohio's quarterback is almost double the passing yards of the quarterback.
Ohio State's quarterback.
Yes. Over Tulsa.
The Ohio State.
The Ohio State.
Yes.
Hi, Ripper.
Yes.
I mean, get it right there, cheeks. What's wrong with you? All right, we're going to skip over a few games because you wanted to talk about Cincinnati, didn't you?
Yeah, Cincinnati's at Indiana.
So,
Cincinnati is, I think, IU, they played Iowa. They lost to Iowa.
But Iowa's a really good team.
Iowa's really good.
That was expected.
They're better than anybody. So Indiana didn't play bad there. I think it's at Indiana. I think that could be an upset.
What do you think, man?
I think Indiana's terrible. They came in ranked. They've proven that they're not ranked, that they're not a good team.
They must have lost a lot of seniors.
Cincinnati has a fantastic quarterback. The line is -4, which is interesting to me, but I think Cincinnati wins that game by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, Cincinnati has a pretty relatively easy schedule this year. They have a pretty good chance of winning all their games, but they do have to play Notre Dame. So, that's going to kind of determine.
That actually could be a really good game if Notre Dame wins this weekend.
If they win
and Cincy wins, that when those two play each other, that could be a good game.
Maybe.
So let's talk about a college that is now going to the bar on Chiefs' dime, and that's Clemson. Okay. Clemson and Georgia Tech. Yep. So Georgia Tech sucks.
Yeah, that's a game. I got to be honest. It's at Clemson. It's Family Day weekend. I will be there.
They lost to Northern Illinois. Georgia Tech loses. That's bad.
Yes.
If Georgia Tech scores more than 10 points on Clemson, does that mean that Georgia Tech has a better offense than...
Look what quarter it happens in, because if it happens in the fourth quarter, that just means Dabo's letting everybody play. What's the line on this one?
There's your line.
28.
Yep.
Yeah, and these teams...
And it's 100. It's 100% that Clemson wins.
100%.
Now,
how is that even possible?
It says 95 on here.
Okay.
Oh, 95.
95.3%.
But it's close, yeah.
Well, the other thing is it's going to be raining in Clemson this weekend, so that's going to slow the game down. I do think Clemson will easily cover the spread, but it may not be as high scoring because of the weather.
So there's no chance Georgia Tech wins this game.
No.
No.
I mean, I had hope,
No.
but now I don't. No, I'm just
It's
kidding.
not even worth watching on TV.
I'll
Maybe
buy you a
if
shot of,
Darren Waller was still playing at Georgia Tech, maybe.
if Georgia Tech wins, I will buy you a shot of Fireball.
Hell yeah! All right, I'm gonna get
I'll
on
buy
that.
you a shot of Fireball.
I'm
too.
gonna start taking out knees. I'm gonna go up to Clemson now and start taking out knees for that fire.
Notate that. You got 2 shots of Fireball coming.
It costs you more in
It is
gas to
available.
go up there.
I know, but I just want to win. All right, so Kent State.
Who?
Yeah, you're like, who's Kent State?
They're in Ohio.
They're playing Iowa.
Yeah, Iowa at Iowa.
This is a layup.
Yep, this is a layup.
Yeah, I wanted to bring up the Iowa versus Iowa State game really briefly, though.
I think Iowa State is better than you think. It's just Iowa's a lot better than you think.
Iowa is a good team.
Yeah. I look forward to seeing them play.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to their season just to see what they're doing. My wife's from Iowa, so we've kind of have a little bit of we like them, but I also like Nebraska because her family's Nebraska fans as well. So I don't know, split personality on that, but we'll see what happens. That'll be interesting. Okay, Stony Brook
Yes.
versus number 4 Oregon. We don't even have a need to discuss that one.
No.
That's going to be a basketball score on.
That's 99.3% chance that they're going
99.
to win.
Yeah,
You want to know the line?
that's because Stony Brook only has
There
about
isn't a
100
line.
people at the school, so every one of
They
them is
can't
playing on a
count
football
that
team.
high.
There isn't a line on that
There's
one.
not even a line on that game.
Yeah.
Is Stony Brook
That's
like?
awesome.
It's not like Bishop Sycamore. I know it's on Long Island somewhere,
All right, Stony Brook, New York.
New York.
It's pretty rough, yeah. All right, Nebraska plays number 3 Oklahoma.
Oklahoma's not been that good lately.
So they did not look good game 1. They played a layup game 2, and they put 76 points on the board only because they didn't play good the week before. That's the only reason why they put that many points. Like, they ran up that score last week. So
They're my number 1 pick. That sucks.
Oklahoma?
Yeah, I wanted them to go all the way.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, they were my pick to go all the
they
way,
did.
and they're not acting
They're
like
not
it.
happening.
No, their defense is horrible. They didn't allow any points they scored last week, but
Tulane, they beat Tulane, but Tulane pushed OU hard. Now I do think they're going to beat Nebraska.
yeah. Now, Nebraska lost to the Fighting Illini
Yep.
at
Illinois.
yeah. So in the Illinois sucks this year.
And they beat them with their second string quarterback because their starter got hurt.
Yeah. So I have very little respect for Nebraska right now to go in there and do anything. So we'll see. But obviously Oklahoma's winning that game. All right. Our hometown team, South Carolina, is playing at Georgia this week. 2 years ago, the Gamecocks went in there and won 20-17.
In a big upset.
In a huge upset
Knocked
that
Georgia
knocked
out of the
Georgia
playoffs.
out the playoffs, out of the SEC SEC contention for the East, the whole 9 yards.
Now, South Carolina's 2-0 going into this game. They barely squeaked by ECU.
Yeah.
Their first game was cupcake game. Brookie,
We're going to get rattled.
I'll just say this. Georgia, we know their defense is good. South Carolina's having a hard time scoring right now. That's going to be a major issue. I think Georgia wins. I don't know if they win by 31 like the spread's saying, because the South Carolina-Georgia game always has a rivalry to it. So I think Georgia wins, and they win by enough to obviously show there's huge separation between Georgia and South Carolina, but I don't think it'll be like an embarrassing 60-0 game.
Does Channing Tindall, linebacker, I believe, from Georgia, sack the grad transfer on the first set of plays, man?
Oh, how?
I know that'd be
Probably
mean.
not, because he probably hands it off twice and then throws a deep ball. They're probably gonna take a shot. Why not? If you can score a quick touchdown, take the air out of Athens.
Yep.
That helps your situation.
That's true. Good point. That's the only. There's really no hope for Carolina right now, but
South Carolina.
South Carolina. Sorry there,
Well,
buddy.
there's no hope for North Carolina either.
There's no hope for. There's no hope for
Carolina.
either. Yeah. There's
Well,
no hope
one
for either.
Carolina.
Wait a minute, we missed
We have one
we
good
missed a
Carolina
game.
team.
The Carolina Coastal game. There is some hope for them.
Coastal
Yeah.
Carolina.
I know. I'm a bandwagon fan now.
I'm not, but still.
Well, they're the
I'll grow a mullet for the game. I don't care.
Well, now we got to talk about your
Hey,
game.
hold on. Coastal's playing Buffalo.
Yeah, but Buffalo sucks.
Whoop-de-doo.
Nebraska beat Buffalo like 56-20 last week, I believe it was. So Nebraska beat Buffalo. I'm pretty sure Coastal Carolina can beat Nebraska and Buffalo if they took the best players from each team and combined them. So now we have to talk about the game I've been waiting for since I heard about it like 5 years ago, and that's Alabama versus the Florida Gators. Nobody even cares. All
I
right.
heard of somebody's
Go Gators!
somebody sighed.
Somebody signed. Oh, that's right.
Oh, there it
Oh, all right. Whatever.
is. From a Syracuse fan. Did they
All
play
the
football
band-
in Syracuse?
All the
Nothing
bandwagon
better than that,
Syracuse fans in the house. All right. So biggest game of the week. Brookie DC, I'll have you take it over from here.
I think Florida.
90,000 fans.
I understand what you're going out here with the swamp. You're in Gator country. I get it. I think Florida still doesn't have an answer.
Chomp, chomp.
Florida doesn't have an answer for their offense yet, and I think that's going to be a major issue going against a pretty solid Alabama defense, and we know what Alabama can do offensively. Florida usually has a solid defense. Your defense is not as good this year as it has been in the past. The line,
It's better than it was last year.
Well,
maybe better than it was last year, but
And
you
they're
still
playing
have
two
questions at
quarterbacks.
quarterback. Yeah. So I think Alabama comes into the swamp. I think Alabama walks out 35-21 winners.
So you're playing it safe for that 35-21, but I'll give it to you. I think it'll be 35-21 the other way around. But I'm just kidding. No, I was actually thinking 31-28. Gators pull it off, only because I have a little bit of bias,
A little?
A lot.
a lot of bias.
Yeah.
I mean, even the sun shines on a dog's butt some days, Ray, but I don't think it's going to shine on Florida's that day.
But Florida kept up with Alabama last season. Now, mind you, Florida lost a lot of talent, quarterback, running backs, or not running backs, but tight end and receivers, right?
Here's Florida's other problem, and you know this. Chief knows this. Cheeks knows this. Everybody in this bar knows this.
Oh, wow.
You want to play Florida and Georgia early in the year because they don't hit their strides until the end of the season. So you get 7-8 games in. We don't want to play Florida. We don't want to play Georgia. It doesn't matter what week you play Alabama. You're facing the same team. So you cannot win that football.
So I'm a little bit skeptical at Emory Jones. Everybody that's a Florida fan is. Anthony Richardson is looking pretty good, but he's only in for like 6 plays a game, so I'm not going to give him too much credit when he throws a big bomb or like a big pass when he comes in for one time. But
Alabama aside, I think Florida and Kentucky are the only two who realistically have a shot of unseating Georgia.
that's true. I'll go with that. I'm a little
because
biased.
Georgia-
Kentucky's
Kentucky's good this year.
Kentucky has a
Kentucky played
quarterback.
a community college their first game.
Kentucky has a
Kentucky's
quarterback.
not that bad this year. We're going to have the blonde on the show soon because she's going to become a fan again of the football team.
Of football, yeah.
The one thing that the coach does at Kentucky is play defense. And this year, he somehow found a quarterback, which is unheard of for an offense to be successful in Kentucky. The kid's got a cannon. Chucked like a 70 or 80-yard touchdown pass the week before. So I believe in Kentucky this year, and I hate to say that because I'm a Tennessee fan. You guys know that. But Kentucky is an upset team for a Florida or a Georgia, as just like a South Carolina is an upset team for a Georgia, just like Tennessee's an upset team for a Georgia.
Tennessee's not an upset team for anybody right now.
You wait until we get into rhythm, and you never know.
You
Just
never
like
know.
Florida's going to beat Alabama, right?
Everyone laughs at me, but I'll be the one that's laughing on Sunday. Ha 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 ha.
So,
I'll be laughing
I
Saturday.
can't wait for the test.
When I text you and say, Ray, what happened? Ray!
all right, so since we're talking about Tennessee a little, Josh Heupel.
Who are they playing this week?
We have Tennessee Tech. We will win that game.
Rolling that
Barely.
game. But
Barely. What's
No,
this?
we'll win that game by like 40 points.
Joel Milton hurt his leg. Is he going to be back?
So at this point, they are not naming a starter, and I don't think Milton starts this week. I think they're going to go with Hendon Hooker, the guy that came in relief of him last week. He looked better. He was throwing passes that were catchable. But there was an analyst this week that was talking about Joe Milton at Tennessee, and his exact words were, Joe Milton is the type of quarterback that gets your coach fired.
Well, and that's what
Why do you
where
think
I was
he left
go-
Michigan?
That's where I was going. What does Josh Heupel have to do to keep his job?
Well,
Like,
they're going to
does
give
he get a bye year?
they're going to give him a couple years at least. But I think he has to make decisions fast. So if Hooker and Milton aren't the answer, he needs to put Bailey in and let Bailey play. Bailey is a proven pocket passer, unlike those guys, because they're both running quarterbacks. They like to run. If that doesn't work, that's not going to be part of your game plan. Then switch it up and be a pocket passer and see what the kid can do.
All right. Can we talk about FSU just briefly?
No. Yes, we
Mike
can.
Norvell gets to keep his job.
He's gone, dude.
He's gone.
You lose to Jacksonville State.
If he loses another game, he might be gone mid-year, kind of like what USC just did.
They planted the flag in the middle of the stadium. Like, come on,
I'm
man.
thinking that's exactly it.
Hey, that Florida State game does not matter at the end of the year for you.
It's terrible because I really hope that
you
Florida
depend
State.
on that.
I hope that they do good every season until they play Florida. But my goal is for every team that Florida plays to be undefeated, so that we look really good when we win. And then they win the rest of their games too. That's my goal ever. That's my hopes every
Maybe
year.
you guys can schedule Jacksonville State.
Every single season, yeah. Exactly.
So, where does Deion Sanders go?
Florida State.
Well, he's
you
at
think?
Jackson State, not Jacksonville State.
No. He's at Jackson State, but does he stay where he is, or is he? Now he'll finish the season. The guy's got. But I think.
Yeah, but you're talking about a program like he's at Jackson State, so the only step he's going to make would be like maybe a Kent State or maybe a Tulane or a Tulsa. He's going to have to take baby steps.
He's not going to take Florida State on.
He's loud, runs his mouth, and programs don't want that. They don't want that attention. They want wins, but he hasn't proven that he can blow teams out at Jackson State yet. So he needs to pump the brakes. He ain't going nowhere yet.
Okay.
Yeah, he needs to get himself comfortable and win some games for sure. We have a huge fan base that are on the show from Appalachian State, so we got to talk that game real briefly. Who are they playing? We do. We have like 500 people from Appalachian State that listen to the show.
Are they all in Ireland?
No, I'm actually making that up.
I know you are.
But
well, our own.
our own.
DP.
Who? Oh.
DP.
No, what is his? Oh, what?
I don't know.
What is his nickname that
I
we
don't
use?
know.
The Rebel. The Rebel.
There you go.
So he's from Appalachian State. He played on the
He
team.
played for Appalachian
Yeah.
State.
So what do we got? Who are they playing this week?
Elon is coming into Boone. Boone, for those listening, Boone is where Appalachian State is.
Just in case you didn't know, all of our fans that are in
Elon
Arkansas.
is coming into Appalachian State. I think it's a no-brainer. App State has been playing awesome football. They lost by 2 points to Miami.
It was a game, man.
That was a game that went down to the very end.
It was the last. Did they fumble on the last? Rebel.
The Rebel.
We need your insight.
We need your insight on App State.
It's App State.
We need 3 seconds.
Just real quick.
We need
What's
your
App State gonna do this
analyzation
week?
of the Miami game.
Not this week, but in general. Yeah, talk about the Miami game.
They went out and still go to the toilet bowl in Alabama.
All right.
That's what happened. That's pretty sums it up.
And he has spoken. All right. The man has spoken. All right, we're good
Talk
to go.
about timing.
So we have got to jump into baseball for 4.5 minutes because we got to be done in 5 minutes.
One quick fun fact before you jump into baseball. 2 famous country singers went to App State. Who are they?
I don't know names of anybody, so. But it's the guy that sings
Eric
that
Church.
one song.
You guys know Eric Church?
Eric Church, I like him.
And the man who is the official football song for the SEC this year, Mr. Luke Combs.
Luke Combs,
Both
baby.
went to App State.
I love that guy.
Now you're on to baseball.
Baseball, all right, let's do it. Okay, so Yankees and Blue Jays are fighting it out for the AL
No,
East.
Yankees aren't anymore.
They're not.
No, you got to stay on top of this.
Oh,
Yeah, they're
gosh.
out.
So AL East, Tampa Bay's up by 8.
Yeah.
Toronto, New York Yankees, and Boston are all eight games back. Now, technically, you could say New York Yankees have a shot, but when you look at strength of schedule, who everybody has coming up, I don't see the Yankees doing it. I actually, if you go look at who's on a roll, I don't think if Boston or Toronto has a shot in the AL, not to win the AL East, but to possibly get a wild card.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think Red Sox are a wild card. They're like crap right now. They're not winning games.
All right, AL Central, White Sox is a.
They're in.
They're in.
There's no one that's going to be in the wild card from there.
No. AL West,
Astros.
Houston's up by 7 against Oakland. I don't see that falling down.
Yeah, I'm gonna say there's six. There's 6 ahead of Oakland, but
No, 7 as of this morning, right?
I don't know. I just pulled it up.
Ah.
Yeah, I don't know. But
Let's talk
I hate
National
Houston, so-
League.
Yeah, let's.
I know you love the Dodgers are in.
The Dodgers are in.
Dodgers are a game and a half back of the Giants, but those two teams, you got 2 big rivalries, a game and a half. It could go either way, but I don't think anybody else in the NL West touches either of them.
No.
You have the Cardinals, the Reds, the Padres, the Phillies, and the Mets that could be the last wild card spot in the National League. So we'll see what happens.
The National League's the one to beat this year, man. The Braves 76 wins, the Phillies 73 wins. That's still a tight one too.
The Braves right now have the RBI leader, Adam Duvall. He's got 101 RBIs and 35 home runs. But get this, his batting average is 229. It would be the lowest ever for a RBI champion.
Well, then the Braves need to stop losing.
The last time
they lost the last 2.
The last time the RBI champion was even close was Harmon Killebrew with a 243 in 1962 with the Minnesota Twins.
I'm rooting for the Dodgers this year for the World Series, baby.
Thank you.
All
2
right.
in a row.
All right.
2 in a row.
Yeah.
That's all I know about baseball.
Boston has the easiest schedule going in. That's why I say Boston could come up with something. I don't think they'll win the division against Tampa Bay, but I do think they could come up as a wild card.
They're way too far off for the division to win the division.
No, they're 8 games back, but they've got Seattle, Baltimore, the Nationals, the Mets, and the Yankees. As long as they beat
they need to play the Orioles every game from now on.
Yeah.
I'm wrapping it up, y'all.
All right.
So, get this. We're making T-shirts. Has anyone seen them?
Yes, I bought one.
Oh, you did?
It's on the way. It'll be
That's
next week.
That's a good woman right there. Which one did you buy?
I'm going to surprise you.
Oh, you are my favorite. Oh, we can't even talk. We don't have time. I'm sorry. I really wanted to talk about NFL, but we talked too much about college football on this show.
Yeah, we did 45 minutes of it.
That's fine, though. We love college football.
We had a 7-minute segment on your Gators.
We did have well, we could do 30 minutes on the Gators every night for all I care, but then no one would listen to the show.
Yeah, but no one will listen to the show except like 3
guys at the
people.
bar talking sports, not Gators.
Exactly. All right, so yeah, T-shirts, hoodies. I got a mug, the whole 9 yards. You want to check it out?
Where can our listeners go get this stuff?
I have no idea how to make it happen yet.
Don't forget, if you want to buy us a beer, you can buy us a beer.
Oh, buy us a beer. Guys at the Bar Talking Sports at Guys at the Bar Talking Sports through Venmo. I have that set up, as well as Cash App.
Wow.
If you want to buy us a beer, then you just buy us a freaking beer.
And we'll even do a shout out.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's amazing. All right, so buy us a beer. And then,
if you want your small business mentioned on this show, buy us a beer.
Yep.
Yeah, like MJ's Bar and Grill. All right, I'll talk to y'all we will talk to y'all next week.
Yes.
I like it. Because we're guys at the bar talking
sports.
I know what you're thinking. Man, that was an amazing show. You know what you do then? You subscribe to the show. By subscribing, you'll be able to hear the show next week and every show that we come out with from here on out. And then if you really like the show, the thing that you can do is you give it a 5-star rating and review. Whatever podcast you listen to, see if you can give it a 5-star rating and review. I know you can do it on Apple iTunes. And then you know what you do? You come on back next week to hear Guys at the Bar talking sports.